Dish Network is in another dispute with TV programmers. In this week's video, we are going to look at why the company has such a bad relationship with TV programmers and how much that attitude is costing it. Let's get started. This is nScreenNoise. My name is Colin Dixon, founder and chief analyst at nScreen Media, and today is September 5th, 2019. Well, contract disputes between TV programmers and pay TV operators is certainly nothing new. And we saw more of it this week with a dispute between Altitude Sports, which is a Denver area regional sports network carrying Nuggets, Avalanche and Rapids games, and between DirecTV, Dish and Comcast. They dropped Altitude Sports in a dispute over, of course, license fees. Now, Dish in particular seems to have a very fractious relationship with programmers. It has been in disputes with HBO, Fox Sports, Meredith stations, Disney FX, all in the last year. Now, mostly these disputes get settled. So, for example, CBS and DirecTV got into a spat in late July, and by the end of August it was settled and the CBS stations were back available through DirecTV. But the dispute between Dish and HBO, which of course is owned by AT&T, which also owns DirecTV, has not been settled, and it has been nearly a year. So that's really a very fractious relationship that Dish has with the programmers, and particularly with HBO. So why does Dish have such an aggressive attitude towards programmers? Well, to understand that, we have to look at pay TV margins. And I can tell you that they have been reduced dramatically over the last 10 years. And in fact, programmers have won above inflation fee increases from pay TV operators for 10 years or more. And it's had a devastating effect on those margins. Looking at Comcast data, content license fees as a percentage of average pay TV revenue per subscriber has increased 12%. So in 2015, 48 cents of every subscription dollar paid by somebody went directly to the licensees, the licensors of the content. Fast forward to today, 2019, it is 60 cents of every dollar now goes directly to the TV programmers. That's a huge erosion of margins, and there simply aren't many businesses that can stand that level of erosion and stay in business. So the problem for Dish is that unlike Comcast, they don't have broadband, which they can offset the reduction of margin against. And as well, they're in the lower end of the pay television market, comparing the average revenue per unit that Dish gets, which is $85, with DirecTV, which is $119. You can see they're really much lower revenue from individual customers, and what that means is that they simply don't have the room to absorb these increases that other operators do. So that means that they have to push back hard on the programmers to reduce those increases and maintain their margins. So is this aggressive approach by Dish, is it costing it much more than, say, DirecTV? Well, looking at the numbers, it certainly doesn't look like it's hurting it any more than it's hurting Dish. So back in 2015, Dish had 14 million subscribers and DirecTV had 25.4 million. So fast forward to today, Dish has 9.6 million and DirecTV 17.9 million. Both a 30% reduction over that period 2015 to today. So How about the HBO? Has HBO impacted Dish a lot and made a lot of people leave, an unusual amount of people leave? Well, back in Q2 2018, just before the dispute started, Dish had 10.7 million subscribers, and of course that's fallen to 9.6. DirecTV has 20 million subscribers, and they're down to 17.9 million. That's a 10% decline in both cases. So the truth is that really the impact that HBO has had, not having HBO rather, has had on Dish, well, it's not unusual. It's not even more than, say, DirecTV, which has lost just as many subscribers on a percentage basis. And it has HBO, obviously, because it's owned by their parent company. And in fact, if you look at Dish's losses, they're curtailing, they're slowing down. In Q1, they lost 266,000, but in Q2, they lost 79,000. Whereas DirecTV is accelerating. In Q1, 540,000 left. In Q2, 780,000 left. And so, why is DirecTV's losses accelerating, even though they've got a pretty good relationship with programmers and they continue to provide HBO? Well, they changed their policy. They are now not seeking to save customers that call up looking for a better deal. Instead, they're likely to tell them either to drop a tier of service, drop a premium channel like HBO, or just leave. And that is costing them a lot of subscribers. Now, the truth is we're going to see a lot more programmer disputes. There is less incentive for programmers like Disney, for example, to deal with pay TV operators. They have their own service. They'll have their own service in Q4, Disney Plus. They also have Hulu, so they have plenty of reasons not to deal as hard with, not to be as receptive as programmers. And so I expect to see disputes spread, not decrease into other operators as their margins continue to be eroded. And as for HBO on Dish, well, don't hold your breath. This has been Colin Dixon with nScreen Media. I'll see you again next time.